It's all about the sickos today. We rummage through the Sicko Satchel, and we rummage, and we rummage, and we rummage some more. It's a Friday, No Rules Friday episode of Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
It's Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your podcast, and that includes YouTube. There's Doug Branson, everyhornetsboxscore.com. Also, check out the show he helps produce, Yahoo Sports Daily, with Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton. I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Sports Radio, 92.7 WFNZ. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. No Rules Friday. We do No Rules Friday on Wes and Walker. I decided to give this show that tagline because all we're doing, we're going straight to the satchel. We're answering, a bunch of questions that the sickos have asked us. They delivered. They understood the assignment. You asked, we received, and then we kept receiving lots of questions. What do you have for the people here, Doug?
I'll get into that in a second, but I want to talk through this Friday thing. First of all, I want to know, what does No Rules Friday mean on Wes and Walker in brief?
Oh, the beauty of the titles of each of the types of shows that we have is that nobody knows what they mean.
Isn't it War Cry Wednesday, right?
So we have a Do It To It Tuesday. What are we doing? I don't know, but we're doing it and we're doing it. It's a Do It To It Tuesday. Shout out to Boomer Von Cannon for helping us out with that one. War Cry Wednesday, we know what we're doing there. We just let out all of the emotion that comes on a hump day, and we start the show after we war cry. And then on No Rules Friday, we get a little loosey-goosey on a Friday, even on a football Friday, which is also No Rules Friday. So nobody knows what any of it means.
I'm letting loose on a Friday. I've come to appreciate Fridays in a very different way. Working a morning show.
Yeah.
I remember now. It is morning shows. They are a beast, and I love them. But I have just come to appreciate Fridays. And No Rules. I haven't even done if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my hair is a scatter. I don't care because it's Friday, and I'm excited to get into this satchel. All right.
And there are no rules. Your hair doesn't have to abide by any rules.
It's not abiding by anything right now. All right, so let's get into this satchel. Before I even put out the all call for the sickos to fill the satchel, we got this message from Roger from the 23rd Trey Mann Division. Big fan of the show. I like Roger because he starts with the abbreviation Good Morning GM, so it's GM Doug. And I at first before I thought about it, I was like, he's saying that I'm the general manager of the Hornets, right? Like he wants my general manager opinions, but I think he's just wishing me a good morning. Roger says this: enjoyed watching Locked On Hornets this morning. I'm hoping that Coach Lee gets the guys to buy into his system. I would like to see these guys play fast-paced transition offense. This would help create a lot of space on the floor. Kickouts galore, baby. I would love to see it. Now, Walker, I think a lot of people would love to see this team play faster, score more points. But the thing is about playing faster is you also have to play effectively. Like, you can play fast and also play terribly. And I thought we saw a little bit of that against Oklahoma City, where they might have been playing a little too fast, or they just aren't used to playing that. They need to play that fast. So maybe too fast is the wrong word. They need to play that fast, but they've got to learn to play that fast more effectively.
For sure. And they were not very good at the efficiency part of it in transition. They were bad at frequency. They were bad at efficiency, getting out in transition last year. So they need to fix both. You are right about that. What will help you is a couple of guys coming back. LaMelo Ball, just a walking fast break. He immediately speeds up the process. He immediately, with his go-ahead passes, with his fun, remember rookie year, underhand to Gordon Hayward, the full court, the full length of the court type of passes. LaMelo has that ability, and Moussa is going to get out in transition. He can even steal the basketball and help you get out a little bit faster than what Mark Williams did. One, you just don't turn off the motor at all if you're Moussa, but also you're flirting with perimeter defense a little more. And we actually saw a steal. Was it the second or the first preseason game? I think it might have been the first, where Moussa ate his guy up trying to drive and picked his pockets, cookies, all the way down the other end of the floor. You get an easy bucket. So I think Moussa's going to help too. Trey Mann, interestingly enough, if I remember correctly, going through his numbers last year and even the year prior, he was much more of a half-court guy than he was somebody that was a speedster getting out in the open floor, which was interesting. Quick, really, going to undress you with his crossovers. Yeah, that makes sense in the half court. I thought maybe he would get out in the open floor a little more so. He doesn't hurt. It's just he's much more of a half court oriented player. Brandon Miller, the last one on this list, only 27 games. This was the selling point on him, is that he was this runs like a deer type of wing that's real coordinated and can catch alley-oops from LaMelo. That was the idea, the two-man game between those two. Thus, another question that we can answer with injuries, Doug. I think, yes, just the fact that guys are healthy. Yeah, the fact that guys are healthy, that's going to help. And also just the way that they built their team with all of these small, quick guys, that has to, I think, invite a faster pace.
All right, I'm going to break some news here on the show, and I'm going to get really, really sicko in a way that we have not been able to get sicko before. And the news is this. Thanks to the Locked On Podcast Network, we now have access to Synergy Sports and all of the play type breakdown statistics that come with that. And so you'll be hearing a lot more of those stats creep their way into the show, and how efficient the Hornets are individually and as a team at those different kinds of styles of play. And so I'm going to get really sicko and dive into this Synergy stat data for a preseason game, for the second preseason game. And I pulled up the transition stats, and the Hornets actually beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in that second preseason game in transition points total, 25 points to 14. But in terms of efficiency, the Oklahoma City Thunder were scoring at a points per possession of 1.286. That's good. And the Hornets were at a 0.88. That's not good relative to what good transition should be. And if you dig down into who was doing the transitioning, right? It was LaMelo Ball with 6 possessions, Moussa Diabaté 5 possessions, Trey Mann 4 possessions. Trey Mann was a 1.25 in transition. He was scorching hot. Collin Sexton, only 2, and I think both of those were steal ripaways that he crushed. And then LaMelo Ball in his 6 transition plays, 3 in the first quarter, 3 in the second quarter, he was at a 0.667. Brandon Miller, his 2 possessions, he didn't convert on either of them. Moussa Diabaté at a 0.8. And I don't know if this is them directly converting or the result of the play that they were involved in. It was not good for Brandon, good for Moussa, and really good for Trey Mann, who I think opens up a lot of them playing more quickly this season.
Yeah, so if you just look, just to bring some of those stats to life last year, off of steals, they did get out, off of steals, they, I apologize. They were a little bit better getting out in transition off of steals. So you wonder if that's going to increase with Moussa. They were in the 18th ranking, or the 18th spot, excuse me. But like all transition in terms of frequency, yeah, that's where they were a little bit further down. That's where they were 29th. And then you talk about points per play in transition, they were dead last at 30th. So that off steals number is really the thing that maybe they can lean into a little bit more so. But yeah, there you go. Synergy, by the way. I don't even know what to do with this power. Like I need to. This is almost like the last Mission Impossible, where in order to unlock some of the synergy stats, I have one half of the key, Doug has the other half of the key. We have to put both sides of the keys together and then unlock the lock that is synergy. And then we have to figure out what it is that this thing does. First, we have to know where it goes. Then we have to figure out what it does. And even then, you have a split second to where you can master the entity that is synergy. That's how I feel about all this information / power we have.
We've bogged ourselves down already. We've got a lot of Satchel to get to, but I do have one final thing on the transition piece, and it goes back to Trey Mann and Collin Sexton. we did at different points during the offseason go, what are they doing? Like signing all of these guards. They don't sign a center, da-da-da-da-da. Now just kind of looking at how they want to play over these first two games, like they've got to get in sync. I mean, there was a play early on where LaMelo threw it way over Miles's head. Like when they get into the regular season, they're going to be fine. That's going to be fine. They've got to get this stuff worked out again. They've got to get more effective. But if they're going to play this quickly, then I trust Collin Sexton to do that. I trust Trey Mann, because for every Trey Mann transition possession, for every Collin Sexton transition, I mean the steal ripaways, but even if he's just putting the ball into action quickly, I trust that over, I don't know. I mean, I trust it a little bit more than Brandon Miller right now. I trust it a little bit more than I trust a lot more than Miles, because I thought that was where the offense got bogged down a lot last season was Miles. Like Miles should not be running the break. That's not, I don't think that plays to his strength. He should be accepting the break, right? He should be high flying, right, being the ooper, not the allier. So, I like this Trey Mann. I like this Collin Sexton running more transition offense around LaMelo Ball. They've just got to get more effective at it.
Yeah, we have more thoughts. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Oh, we have thoughts.
Bees everywhere!
Is it asking too much to have such a dramatic improvement in an area that they were not only bad at last year, they were the worst at last year? I want to explore that, and then I want to explore more Sicko Satchel questions. That's coming up. LOH. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections, like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley's rushing for a touchdown prop, and you're in the game. I might have said Saquon's going to run for a touchdown, and it didn't happen last night, so that hurt. Don't be like me, though.
That's a big storyline right now. Big storyline.
You know, it's bad to be wrong, and that's something they didn't tell me on Prize Picks. So they do tell me it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups. And
that's a you problem.
It is a me problem. After you play your first $5 lineup, then you can get $50 in lineups added to your account. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, again, it's good to be right. More Locked On Hornets ahead. I know we keep beating this to death, Doug, and we've talked about it quite a bit this offseason, but it's such a difference, right? Because I can't help but just see how the block where orange is red hot and blue is ice cold, everything, every transition category, it's ice cold, whatever you want to look at. And so can a team, I don't have the numbers on some of the other teams that might have done this, but can a team with, a lot of changes, but also they still have a decent amount of their core in place, can a team dramatically improve something that they were dead last at last year? And I'm talking 30 out of 30, baby. And they were quite bad at all of these little categories. The best that we can get to, again, is the frequency in which they got out in transition off of steals. And they were ranked 18th. They were still below average in the thing that they were best at, and everything else, they were 30th. So now here you have LaMelo, who is going to improve a bunch of stuff. And we can go down the list of all the signings that they made. Is it too much to ask for them to go all the way at the bottom to average top 10, especially with how much they're going to relinquish defensively, you would imagine? Like, is it okay to expect and or ask them to get to top 10 in a lot of those categories?
Well, top 10 maybe, but I think dramatic improvement would be even just jumping into the 20s or, being middle of the road. And I think you should expect that from them, because insofar as LaMelo Ball stays healthy, because he is that talented and he can make that kind of impact at running faster paced offense. And if a few other guys hit some shots, they can make those improvements, and you should expect that from the guy that you're paying the most money to. He should be efficient in transition. That plays to his strengths, and honestly, like, I know he's a little bit bigger, but it plays to his lack of strength in that if you're playing quick and you're playing in transition, you're not going to face the same kind of pressure that tended to bog him down last season. So, you already create an advantage for your best player. So, yeah, that should create an advantage for your team overall. By the way, I'm digging into these synergy stats, and it looks like Cason Wallace 1-for-1 in shots that were angels in the outfield type of shots where an angel grabs the basketball and floats it into the basket from 90 feet in the air. That's a pretty crazy stat.
It could happen. It could happen.
That was nuts. That's the first thing when we were talking pre-show on Yahoo Sports Daily. First thing that came up was, "Did you see the shot?" I was like, "Yes, I saw the shot."
Yeah, it's legitimately one of the best shots that I've seen. I thought I saw Christopher Lloyd out there. Okay, what's next? What's the next question?
This is from Bam Bam of let me get this right because it's so good. I don't want to get it wrong. He is Bam Bam of the 21st Ricky Pierce Division, a.k.a. the Flying Big Paper Daddies. And he's got a couple of things for us here. Hot take, this season Collin Sexton gets career-high points per game. It took one preseason game for me to realize he's more serious than most of our team. And also, Bam Bam says, possible unpopular opinion, Collin Sexton is our second best player. Maybe it's just the honeymoon phase. He stands out amongst all the other players on the team. Is it that our roster isn't that good, or is it that he is just that much better than everyone else?
Okay. I don't think he's going to have a career points per game average this season. It's going to be really tough. So 18.4 last year, 18.7 the year prior on a team that was totally devoid of scoring prowess, and he was the guy to lead them in a lot of ways. So if Collin had so many opportunities to get up 13, 14 shots a game, he did have, at Cleveland, I'm missing some of the stuff that he did earlier on in his career, which was a similar situation. Cleveland, in 60 games that he started, he actually averaged 24 points per game. I apologize. So it's a big jump. Career, more than 24 a game is going to be wild. More than 18, Doug, I think is not going to happen, and I feel pretty good about that as well. What's the high end for him? I think you're probably looking at 15. If nobody's hurt, which we don't want to predict based off of this guy is going to be injured this many games, whatever, I'm not going to do that. But it would just be really tough for him to do that with LaMelo, even if he comes down, sits around 20. We want Brandon's numbers to come up. Trey Mann is still going to be a guy that has the basketball in his hands quite a bit and is going to bring on a lot of the scoring load. So no, I don't think any of that's going to happen. And maybe you can answer the second part here. Is there a chance you think Collin Sexton is the second best player on this team? And if that's true, what does that mean for the Hornets overall?
He can be the second most fun player to watch on the team. I would buy into that. I don't buy that he's going to be the second best player unless some injuries happen. I just think that, we'll just see if he starts Saturday when they play the Mavericks, because they started with Con, then they went to Trey to start the second preseason game. I'm really curious if Charles Lee just wants to see what each of these guys looks like in between LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he started, but I don't know that he's going to start game one, and certainly not all the way through game 82. I don't think that's how it's going to work. I think that's what he would need. He would need significant possessions. And the Hornets got a gift in Collin Sexton, but they don't view him as the future of the franchise. They view LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller as the future of the franchise, and the possessions, unless LaMelo or Brandon gets hurt, or unless really Brandon, I think, takes a step back, then I think they're going to feed those guys the rock and let those guys command possessions. And so, I don't think he's going to have the opportunity. But I think, again, if he really commits to the defensive end of the floor like we saw in that second preseason game, he could be one of the more impactful players. He can be one of the more fun players. I don't know that he's going to have a career year.
So if you go back to the year where Collin went for 24 points a game, he got up 18 shots a game. Next on the list was Andre Drummond at 15.2. Darius Garland, but remember, very, very young Darius Garland, just entering the league. And then old Kevin Love. Those were the guys that were top 5 on that team. They finished 22 and 50, Doug. The 2023-24 season with the Jazz, they were better. They were 31 and 51 when Collin went for about 18, almost 19 a contest. He put up 13 field goal attempts per game. It's actually lower than what Lauri Markkanen did at 16 a game, and then he scored 23 points. So looking at the situations they were in, perhaps the Jazz Hornets comparison is a little closer than I thought upon just surface level taking a glance at it. I do think even still there are more guys that you want taking shots towards the upper echelon of your roster than you did have with the Jazz that year. Lauri Markkanen, okay, that's understandable. Jordan Clarkson, maybe he takes on the Trey Mann role, stealing some shots. Even so, I think it's going to be tough. So we can move on after the Collin Sexton question. Anything else you want to get to before we get to the last segment?
I'm just really diving all the way into the deep end of the pool of these synergy stats because I was curious in our LaMelo Ball discussion. I would think just watching him play that he would embrace the chaos, that he would be significantly better as an offensive player and more efficient as an offensive player in transition. But the numbers don't bear that out just in terms of efficiency. Maybe overall production, you could make that argument. But he's been, in his all-star year, he was almost dead average in transition in terms of efficiency. But every other year, he's been below average as an offensive engine in transition. He's been better in half-court situations, and that's probably going to wax and wane depending on how well he was shooting his three-point shot. But LaMelo Ball has some work to do. If they want to get faster, you've got to look at him as someone that at the end of the season you say if they accomplish their goal of playing faster more consistently, then it's because they were doing it well enough that it didn't justify, hey, we got to slow things down. Like, this is not good. That's what happened last season. And some of that was injury, but some of that was we tried to play quick and couldn't. So if they do it, then we're going to see, I think, at least a return to that all-star season where he was playing at least average in terms of points per possession. And that's both taking into account, did he score, did he not score? Did he turn it over, did he not turn it over? Did whoever he facilitated to score? So it's kind of all of that mashed up together. But he certainly has to get better on that end too.
And you know what? I think that's pretty explainable in my opinion. All the stats that you just mentioned from Synergy, it's the best team that he's ever played with when he was at least dead average. And it was still his second season in the league. So much of what LaMelo does well in transition is not him scoring. That's not what we talk about with LaMelo. It's who can finish and provide LaMelo an assist. And if those guys are G Leaguers, you're probably going to rank pretty poorly in that category. If you get Miles Bridges, who didn't play 92 games because of off the court situations, and also got a little banged up here and there, when he would come back, LaMelo wasn't on the floor. So now you don't even have your running mate who you created sweet music with in the open floor. Like, there's a lot of reasons as to see LaMelo towards the bottom of that list. I think all of that is extremely explainable, which goes to show you, just stay freaking healthy, put enough talent around him. It's why I'm so hopeful with this season, is that I think they got the right pieces to give him the dime, give him the assist in some of those situations.
God, what? I'm going to give you one more number and then we'll go and we're going to do rapid fire Sicko Satchel because I want to get to some of these questions. But so if you look at the turnover percentages on those transition opportunities for his first couple of seasons, those two, like Rookie of the Year and then All-Star, it hovered around 15% turnover percentage in transition. You go to the last couple of seasons, it goes up to 18, almost 19%. That doesn't seem like a lot, 4 percentage points, but it's a significant number enough of turnovers that it's going to make the difference between you being an effective transition team. It's not all on LaMelo, but that's a significant bump up.
Yeah, and again, I'm not even trying to look. It feels like I'm knocking everything out of the park that you throw at me in terms of trying to defend LaMelo. I don't want to absolve him of all of it, but yeah, think about that. Even a lack of chemistry with the guys that are coming up from Greensboro or that are your second or third stringers. And one thing we've been sure to note with the injuries with LaMelo is then you have to go back a few steps in order to create chemistry and rhythm with these guys. Okay, now you're talking about more responsibility. You're throwing to a space on the floor that your teammate was supposed to fill, and he didn't because it's young Nick Smith Jr. or it's KJ Simpson or it's Wendell Moore, whatever. Or it's Mark Williams not getting back. It's
don't even get me started.
I know.
No, I
know.
agree. No, listen, I'm not killing LaMelo here. I totally agree with you. And so I've always said this, like LaMelo should have been beating down the door a long time ago to the general man. It's difficult when he's in a boot, but like he should have been beating down the door a long time ago saying, hey, you got to give me some dudes I can run with. Okay. So I think now he has them. So I don't know that excuse is going to be inbuilt anymore. And so best player has to return to at least being an average transition. And then it sparks the question, like, what if he's above average? What if the points per possession? Then, that's when things get interesting.
That's the thing, man. Yeah, because like even the strong players for that team, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, those are the guys that are real speedsters in Terry Rozier who would give us some flash moments, but that I view him as a half court bailout. Gordon Hayward was the connector. He wasn't the one that you wanted to get out on the fast break. I guess it was younger Miles. PJ I don't think that's the first thing you think of when you talk about PJ. I think it's
Tsunami. I think they got to hope that Collin Sexton is the next Tsunami.
Well, he wasn't even on that team, right? Kelly wasn't on that team that
really?
When LaMelo was an All-Star. I don't think so.
Oh, no, not the All-Star team. I'm thinking of the next,
When he was average is what I was going back to.
Gotcha.
To further your point about what if he's above average, right? Like that's the point. He was average with the squad that I don't think of run and gun, let's go Loyola style. Like I don't think that when I think of that core. Here, I do. I do think that you have a lot of fast guys. So maybe to bring this back full circle, there is room for dramatic improvement to the point where maybe you can flirt with the top 10
you got me
spot.
confused. 21-22. No, Kelly Oubre was on that team. He was on the All-Star team.
I did not realize that. I I didn't know he was there. I apologize.
You got me all twisty. Yeah, Kelly Oubre, Jalen McDaniels, Cody Martin, Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Nick Richards, Terry Rozier.
I'm sorry, Tsunami Poppy. I apologize.
JT right, Thor, more Thor. Smith.
That didn't help his rankings, seeing more Thor. Let's move on. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
More synergy stats, probably. Doug went drunk and decided to just dive into the pool of synergy. More Sicko Satchel questions as well, coming up next. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. FanDuel makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. This episode is also brought to you by Quo. One of the tools that helps make a huge difference for business owners is Quo, formerly known as OpenPhone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard me talk about before, just with a new name. Here's why it matters. Every missed call is money left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. Quo is the #1 business phone system that streamlines customer communications, and it works right through an app on your phone or your computer, so no more carrying two phones or relying on a landline. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly OpenPhone. Get started free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/LockedOnNBA. That's QUO, quo.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you got existing numbers with another service, Quo will port them over at no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Sicko Satchel or Synergy? Where do you want to go?
Kelly Oubre. So that you sent me down an Oubre rabbit hole now.
Of course I did.
There's
no rules. There's no rules Friday.
That's right. 21-22 season was such a Kelly Oubre aberration. Although last season he was unleashed in Philly because they didn't have a lot else, and he had a great year there too.
Very similar year, I think. Right? Very similar position. Very similar year. Yeah.
Yes, except he didn't shoot well from three. 29% last season. But the aberration for him is he nearly shot 35% from three on 7 attempts. And, he did have a 35% year in 2019-20 with Phoenix, but that was only on 5.5 attempts. But it's his only top 10 award year when he was voted 7th in Sixth Man of the Year voting for Charlotte during the 21-22 season. Also top 10, Montrezl Harrell, who only spent 25 games with the Hornets, but was also in the top 10 in Sixth Man of the Year voting.
Well, this is the comparison that I've made with Trey Mann and Collin Sexton also vying for that spot. Can you get both of them to finish top 10 like you had with your last play-in team, seeing both Montrezl Harrell and Kelly Oubre get there?
Now, I may be wrong, but I think the confusion that we both had was I don't think during that season we referred to him as Tsunami Papi. I believe the Tsunami Papi name may have come up, like he's always, but I think it was revealed to us maybe in the following season. I could have that wrong.
Well, I mean,
it's been a long time since we've done any kind of fun postseason, kind of activities.
Well, he transitioned to Tsunami Father, and it's why one of our listeners has Tsunami Daddy, I believe, as one of the taglines on YouTube.
I thought it went Kelly Oubre, Tsunami Papi, then Tsunami Father.
Tsunami Father was last. That's right. We eventually transitioned to Tsunami Father. Okay, Sicko Satchel time. What you got?
I said rapid fire, but that's doing a disservice to all of the people.
We never mean it. No, we don't mean it. When we say rapid fire and when we say we're really going to do it this time, I need you, the listener, to know we do not mean it. We never mean it. It's never going to be rapid fire.
Well, because I don't want to shortchange it. These are such good, sick, disgusting questions that I do not want to shortchange them. So we'll do, it looks like we got time for one more. And then I'll save them. They're not going anywhere. They will
rapid
be
fire for sure this time.
Yeah. Here we go. This is, I don't even know that I have a nickname on here. So 488, you know who you are. You also texted the Sicko Brigade line here with shouting me out for my Julius Hodge shout out during our Hodgepodge episode that we did maybe last week or early. Yeah, I think it was last week.
Or Hodge Pod is what it was.
It was a Hodge Pod. Yeah, exactly. And then I said Julius Hodge. Mm-hmm. So you shouted that out. So you know who you are. Send me what your nickname is and what Sicko Brigade member you want to be referred to as. Here's the question. If you could pick just one Charlotte Hornet, just one, to be guaranteed injury-free for the entire season, who would you pick and why? Oh, I'm sorry. It came at the end of the text. This is Andrew from the 31st Rambus Brigade. There we go. Andrew from the 31st Rambus Brigade wants to know, injury-free Hornet for the entire season, who would you pick and why?
Well, I appreciate the question. I short of being creative and being devil's advocate, like this is one answer, man. I don't, and I love the question. I love the sickness, baby. I'm here for all of it. I don't see a real reason to bring any other name up than LaMelo. Brandon would be the one. But still,
I thought you were going to go Moussa there for a second.
Why is it not Moussa? No. Well, this is stupid. It's Moussa Diabaté. No, Brandon Miller. Yeah, like I get his importance to the team. Really, it might just be who's been in the league longer and who have we had to wait on longer for a healthy season. And it's LaMelo, man. He's making the most money. We have to figure out if he's going to be a pillar for even beyond what this year is. We're talking about him as trade fodder constantly. If you guaranteed that LaMelo would play 70 games this year, I would take that way, like significantly more before I would take Brandon being guaranteed 70, Miles, even my sweet baby Moussa Diabaté, all of it. This answer has to be LaMelo Ball.
Does it have to be?
It has to be. I don't know. It has to be.
Let me see if I can make another argument. I can make two arguments. I don't know that they're going to be good enough, but I'm going to try to make two arguments that aren't LaMelo Ball for the sake of this conversation.
Okay.
Brandon Miller, we've been talking about him as if he has the potential to supersede LaMelo Ball. And by the way, this question is not if you could pick one Hornet to be completely injury-free, meaning like it doesn't mean that if they're not injury-free, they suddenly miss 40 games. It just means who would you want to have a completely healthy season? And we've at least seen 1 to 1.5 of those from LaMelo Ball. We saw one rookie season, but I want one outside the rookie season. Like 21-22 for LaMelo was mostly healthy, and it was an all-star season, right? I would like to see that from Brandon Miller. And so I think it just in terms of like figuring out what Brandon is, I think it's more important that he stays healthy for the entire season. Just get as many games in this crucial development stage that LaMelo has already graduated out of. Doesn't mean he can't improve. Doesn't mean that he has reached his complete ceiling. But Brandon Miller is in the crucial. They've already paid LaMelo Ball. They've already signed the check. With Brandon Miller, they still have to make the decision to sign the check. He still has something to show for them to sign the check. So that would be my argument for Brandon Miller. The only other argument that I would make is Miles Bridges, only because he does so many little things for the team, but more so than that, he is reaching the part of his contract that makes him the most tradable. You don't want that guy to be injured going into the trade deadline, have that sort of situation where you suddenly cannot move him. So maybe there's a small argument there. I don't think it's better than the LaMelo one. But honestly, I'd put the Brandon Miller argument up against LaMelo.
Yeah, it matters that Brandon is healthy. There's no doubt about it. Just, I would argue LaMelo and his clean bill of health is one of the more important clean bills of health in the entire league, because we just need to figure out what in the hell can he do on a team with any type of potential. And this is the first time that we've had that. So let's say he's hurt. Now you risk next year you don't have Collin Sexton. Maybe the rookies can replace him, but it's now to take that jump. And this is a year where we've talked about it, make or break. Do you end up trading him? I don't mind the Brandon Miller case. I really don't. But I think he's clearly second. I just think there's a clear first. It's been 3 years, 47 games, 22 games, 36 games. That's how many games that he's appeared in each of the last 3 seasons before you can get to that 75 game mark. 75, my God. What a beautiful, beautiful number. Give me 75 again. I like the Brandon Miller case, though. All right. Anything else before we end it today?
No, that's it. We'll get some more Sicko Satchel in the next couple of episodes. We've still got a lot of preseason action to get to. Mavericks game, just really quickly, are you excited about the Knipple versus Cooper Flagg matchup? Does that titillate you?
It does titillate me. Surprisingly close to the Knipple surname as well. Titillating. Knipple is titillating. Anyways, I am. Go ahead.
Last synergy stat for me before I forget it. Knipple was one of only 3 players in that second preseason game to have a post-up possession. It was like Moussa, Tijan, and Knipple with 1 post-up possession. There you go, Knipple.
I'm trying to remember where it came from. What was the titillating percentage from Knipple in the second preseason game?
Not as much as the first, for sure.
Yeah, that was titillating for sure.
Yeah, there was still some titillation. But yeah, I am looking forward to the matchup because I think they'll embrace it if they get on each other. They seem like the kind of cats that would like that matchup against each other. So I'm going to be excited to see that if it happens.
Same. All right, that'll do it for Locked On Hornets. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your pods. That includes YouTube. Doug Branson is on everyhornetsboxscore.com. Go check it out. Also, go check out Yahoo Sports Daily with Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton. I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me WFNZ every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Sports Radio 92.7 FM. Have a great weekend. We'll be back with you on Monday.